Hey YouTube, this is Felicia with Bible Scraps, and it's a storm coming. I think it might be 3 or 4 storms coming over the next 24 hours. Any minute now, I'll be upstairs, snuggled up in bed, watching perhaps a Hallmark movie or maybe a Lifetime. No, I need to catch up on some fall movies because you all know fall is my favorite season. But you guys, I am here with a craft-votional video. I have shared sneak peeks of my plate of ribbon gingerbread. Yeah, you can see that I've eaten quite a bit because in this video, we are going to assemble and make, check this out, these ribbon Santa pants gingerbread tags. For years, I have been showing you guys how I play and create with a ribbon. Now, I will bring a short tutorial. Once again, I do have other tutorials out there, but I will do a fresh version of my technique using ribbon because most of what you're looking at is ribbon. Yes, these are I used ribbon die cuts to make these beautiful tags. So be on the lookout for that upcoming video in the near future. But this craft-votional, you guys, I have a question for you all. And that question is, how do you act as a Christian customer? And if you are not a Christian, the question is, how do you act as a customer? My plate of gingerbread goodness. I've had this prepared well over a month. And sometimes I'll just walk by and admire, take a peek, take a glance, pick up some gingerbread. Well, now it's time to put my ribbon die cuts to good use, making tags. So we will be making Santa's legs, Santa's pants tags. Some of you might remember similar tags I made, probably 2 years ago, if not 3 years ago. Could have been last year. I don't remember. All right, you guys, let's get started with some gingerbread tag assembly. I have a question for you all. And that question is, how do you act as a customer? How do you act as a Christian customer? We are all customers in some way, fashion, or form. The question is, how do we act as customers? Not just inside the store, but on the telephone. And in today's day and age, a lot is being done via the internet, online. How do you act as a customer? All right, I'm just going to play around because these can be created in a variety of different ways. I could use 1 gingerbread, 2 gingerbread, 3 gingerbread, 4 gingerbread, so on and so on and so on. My husband, he recently shared an experience he had with a customer. So he came home and he was like, "Do you know such and such? Have you heard of this particular last name?" And I said, "No. I guess it's a prominent or big, well-known family in my neck of the woods." And I was like, "No." Well, he had a customer, a family member, a customer from this family, and he was really excited about meeting this person. And she was an older woman. He went to school with people from this family. So anyway, he was excited to meet her, and she boasted of being a Christian evangelist, traveling coast to coast to evangelize and preach the good news. And you guys, I'm not putting a whole lot of thought into this. You know, I have a motto: don't think, create. It's gonna be what it be because it is what it is. So I'm just gonna go with my own flow, right? So anyway, he he uh he offered service to her over about 3 days. And I tell you, that third or fourth day, he changed his opinion about her because she was rude. I do want my candy cane to look like a candy cane, so I want it. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it. But she was rude, prideful. She had accused him in so many words. She didn't flat out come out and make accusations against him. But my husband, he's in the car business, and I do understand there's a lot of mistrust when it comes to salesmen, just in general, because somebody always trying to sell you something. And my husband, he's in the finance department. He's actually over the finance department. And so she had accused him in so many words of trying to gyp her. Now, if you're in customer service, and this is what I learned in college, the customer is always right. Even if the customer is wrong, the customer is always right. And that's because if you have a business, you aim to please. You want that customer's business because that customer can bring additional business. And in today's day and time, unfortunately, I say unfortunately because, it's bittersweet. Everything is based on likes. Everything is based on the number of followers or subscribers you have, the number of comments you get. Everything is based on feedback and reviews. And that's so unfortunate because anybody can say anything about you. It don't have to be true, right? Businesses have been destroyed because of, if one person have a bad experience, they go to YouTube. They do a rant video. They post on Yelp, and then other people post on Yelp. Some businesses have had to close down, or they've suffered greatly because of poor reviews and how things tend to, you heard it through the grapevine. Well, the grapevine is the internet now, and it moves pretty fast. So anyway, my husband told her, he said, well, take your contract and take it to your own bank and let them explain to you the exact same thing I'm explaining to you. You'll believe them. So he actually, over the course of 3 days, directed her to do that twice. And each time she did that, she found out that my husband, that he was right. He was not being deceptive. But this evangelist, this Christian woman, she never did apologize. She never came back and admitted that she was wrong. She didn't say sorry. She had this sense of entitlement. And, I think a lot of customers got this attitude, probably don't even know it. Probably they're not aware of it, but there's a sense of entitlement. Okay, so I'm paying you to provide this service to me, or you are servicing me. Therefore, I'm entitled to talk to you any kind of way. I'm entitled to treat you this way because I'm up here and you're down here. And people, we have to be careful, especially as Christians, because once again, I'm talking about a Christian woman, an evangelist, right? She got the title. She traveled coast to coast, preaching the good news, but she's not delivering via her attitude and how she's interacting with my husband and probably, I'm sure, other people. She's not delivering good news. She was bad news to my husband. He spoke highly of her the first day he met her, but I tell you, that third, fourth day, he was like, I wouldn't want to work with nobody like her again. Prideful, dismissive of her own mistakes, not willing to just say, I'm sorry. It's okay to say you're sorry, So anyway, as he spoke to me, I remembered a I'm going to come back to this guy. I remembered a situation, and I did this one right before I started filming. You know, let's add a bell to him. I remembered a situation that I was having. Yesterday, I shared a rubber stamp. Not rubber. That was the problem. I'd ordered this stamp, peach stamp, and the description stated that it was deeply etched rubber. Now, I've been shopping rubber stamps for years. When I read that something is deeply etched rubber, it's referring to red rubber. The description also stated that it was mounted on, I forget the word, but a good quality wood. So, reading wood, deeply etched in rubber, I'm going to assume that it's a red rubber wood mounted stamp. But that's not what I got, people. I got a silicone stamp mounted onto lightweight wood. So I was upset. I really was. I was like, I can't believe. And the seller appeared to be reputable. They're on Etsy. A lot of reviews. And so I simmered on that for about a week. I was upset. I finally reached out to the seller. I have yet to hear back from the seller. But anyway, as my husband told this story about this Christian evangelist woman with this nasty attitude to him, who's another Christian, but he don't have to be a Christian to be treated with respect, right? You just expect it. It's common courtesy. It's our reasonable service to be respectful and kind to people, not expecting anything back. But anyway, I was thinking about how upset I got with this seller. And I had to go back and reread what I wrote to this seller, because I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to be this woman. I don't want to be this woman, kind of behind the scenes, because when we are dealing with people in customer service, we are really behind the scenes, especially when you're dealing over the phone or you're dealing via the internet or behind a screen name or a user. I thought, oh, wow, because I knew how upset I was. So I needed to go back and read what I wrote to the seller, because I didn't want to be rude, but I was upset. And I needed the seller to know, hey, your language is deceptive. But I didn't stop to consider perhaps the seller wasn't trying to be deceptive. But anyway, I went back and reread what I wrote, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I wasn't offensive in what I wrote. Sometimes you need to be clear and concise, people. Sometimes you do need to come out of character and deal with a situation and then go back later and apologize. I'll give you a quick example. For almost a year now, I've been having stomach ailments, and I've been tested for this, and this. I got sick and tired of going through all these different tests, on and off different antibiotics. I finally just told my doctor via an email, look, and this is what I said to him in so many words, people, because I had to just come out of character. This is my health now. This could be life or death. I had been asking for a colonoscopy. As a matter of fact, when I first had symptoms and last November, I requested a colonoscopy. Now, this is all during the pandemic, right? And I'm not knowing that they're rationing services. Duh, it makes sense, but I'm not knowing that. So now it's July, August of this year, and I still have not, my request has not been granted. My doctor's been wanting to do this, and this. I finally just wrote in an email, I am not pleased with my service. I am black. Yes, I played the race card because I am black. And if you don't know, black people are more at risk for certain cancers and die more of certain cancers. I said I'm black. I'm of a particular age. So I'm already due for a colonoscopy because of those two things. On top of that, I got stomach issues. I don't care what this next blood test say. I want a colonoscopy now. Now. And you can best believe my doctor, he made a referral right then and there. And then I went back and apologized for my tone. Because I don't want to be rude to people. But my point is, there's a time when you have to come out of your comfort zone and you have to be assertive and you have to advocate for what is right. Advocate for your life, people, and get ugly if you have to, and you apologize later. But a lot of times it's not as serious, right? We can practice kindness. We can practice being hospitable because once again, we are all customers. So we're always dealing with companies and people who service us. So I started thinking about the times I had to call maybe to get help with my laptop. And don't we dread it? We dread calling customer service because a lot of these companies, they route the calls out the country. But people, even when you're dealing with customer service agents who are not from the same country as you are, you still owe them respect. You still owe them kindness and to be courteous. They don't deserve to be talked to any kind of way because they don't sound like you, and it's obvious they don't live where you're from. How are you as a customer? How are you as a Christian customer? Oh, I think I want to add another one right here. We call to get live help and we find ourselves talking to operators, the voice automated operators. And if you're like me, you argue. Yeah, you argue with the computer, people. You hang up on a computer because it's frustrating to press 1 10 times and press 2 3 times. And then you're on hold for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, only to speak to somebody live. And God forbid the phone accidentally hang up or they hang up on you. And then you go through that same process over again. That's happened to me over and over and over again. If you want to learn how to have patience, call an 800 number, trying to get customer service, trying to get a live representative. Let me tell you, you can learn patience. But anyway, when you finally talk to somebody, and if they can't help you, well, number one, you're frustrated when they get on the phone. So you already got an attitude. That person is still due courtesy and respect. You shouldn't talk to that person any kind of way and feel okay about it. Thank God for the Holy Ghost. Thank God for having a conscience. Because when my husband spoke to me about that, I was thinking, okay, I hope I didn't offend this seller in what I wrote. If you have a consciousness, people, be thankful for it. Don't try to repress your consciousness, for it's the Lord directing you in a way, in one way or the other. Perhaps you're wrong about something and you need to be corrected. I know our consciousness don't always feel good because it accuses us. Well, a lot of times it needs to. My next Craft-Votional I'm going to kind of sort of talk. So when I started to self-reflect and I went to read what I wrote, I realized, you know what? I was not wrong. I was caught up in my feelings at a point because I was upset, but I wasn't wrong in what I said to the seller. Because sometimes we just need for people to know how we really feel and not beat around the bush. But we should maintain professionalism. We should maintain a degree of constructiveness in how we relay how we feel to someone else. So my husband's story, it resonated with me. We should strive to deliver the best customer service. We ourselves should strive to deliver that. And in today's day and age, I'm going to tell you why. Because there's somebody who's always watching. Y'all know that song. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And I got no privacy. Oh, I'm telling you. We know God is always watching. But the devil, he's always watching too. He's on the prowl, people, looking to catch you off guard. There is somebody out there who could be recording via video or via audio. You never know. You could be the next person, right? On or in social media that's canceled because you got caught off guard with how you spoke to somebody or how you treated somebody. And another point I want to emphasize, don't be so quick. I know, once again, everything is based on writing reviews and leaving comments. You ought to, before you leave a review, you ought to check yourself. What is your intent? What is your motive? If you're going to say something constructive, then do that. But if your intent and motive is to discredit someone, if your intent is to blaster someone publicly, know what's at stake. You can ruin someone's reputation. You can ruin someone's business. Like in this situation with this stamp, I thought to leave a review. And then I stated, no, I'm not going to leave a review. Not even a negative review. Because I don't want to destroy. I don't want to be a part in the demise of destroying someone's business. But I will go back and state that it's not rubber. And I'm going to deal with my issues with the seller behind closed doors. Everything don't need, people, you shouldn't be airing your personal business online. It's personal and for a reason. And you don't have to air interactions that you have with other companies via public. Some things is good to share, but watch how you share it. What is your intent? What is your motive? Because once again, in today's age, everything is based on customer service. Everything is based on reviews. And please don't do this. Please don't be the kind of person that does rants, especially online rants, especially when you're talking about other people. I've unfortunately have witnessed social media influencers degrading and talking about other social media influencers. Some time ago, I sent Happy Mail to someone I follow. And anyway, sometime later, I sent a private email to her. Gave her a whole lot of advice on not giving up, practical advice. And told her, if you want to succeed in doing this, it's going to require blood, sweat, and tears and patience, because she had lost her wits' end. So I gave her a lot of good information. And I also had commented on, I don't want to give too much information because we all follow the same people to a degree. And I don't want anyone to know who I'm talking about. But anyway, she had put up a video, and her tone and things that she said in her video could have been misconstrued and made people upset because the time that we're living in, right? And so I had mentioned to her, I forgot what I said, but I didn't say it in a rude way, but I did point that out about how some people might feel with her stating what she stated. Well, out of everything I said to her, this particular person, she took this one thing and she took it out of context and she put up a video. Now, to my knowledge, she never said my name in the video, but I knew she was talking about me, and I was like, wow, I said all of these wonderful things to enhance you, to help you grow in what you want to grow in. And you take this one thing and you take it out of context, and now you do a rant video. And she had got a lot of sympathy because she didn't tell the whole story. Now, I had sent her an email, and being in my flesh, I thought, well, you know what? If I want to be in the flesh, I could do my video and share exactly what I said to you. Now, of course, there's no way I would have did it, but I'm human. I thought to do it because my feelings were hurt. I'm like, I sent you all this happy mail to make you happy, and then I'm giving you some good sound advice, and you turn around and do a rant video? Well, some may think you have every right, Felicia, to do a video. But number one, she didn't mention my name, so I did not have to defend myself, right? And number two, had she mentioned my name, I probably still would not have said anything, because I don't get caught up in stuff like that. God is too good, people. I got too much to glorify him for, too many testimonies to share, than to get caught up in foolishness like that. But I'll tell you the reason why I wouldn't do it. If I would have done a response video, it would have in some way, fashion, or form had an adverse or consequence to her channel and to her. And there's no way I would want that to happen to anybody. There is just no way. And you have to balance power and authority and how much weight and pull you have when it comes to how you treat other people. I would have been guilty, more guilty in God's eyes. I think you guys understand. A supervisor can be sued for things employees or insubordinates can't be sued for, because the balance of power. How are you administering godly customer service? How are you acting as a Christian customer? Okay, let's put another one of these together. Let me throw some scriptures at you guys, and I do hope you catch them, because what we say and do and how we act, the Bible provides a blueprint, and we ought to be evaluating ourselves to what the Word of God has to say in our speech and in our conduct. Hebrews 13:2 states, "Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware." Ooh, and I want to come back to that. People, if you don't know, I believe we all at some point have or will entertain an angel. It could be an angel you are talking to on the other side of that phone line. People, you just don't know. You don't know. That customer service agent could be an angel from on high. How are you treating people as a Christian customer? How are you treating those that service you? Do you have the entitlement attitude because you're in charge? Because you have the upper hand? Because you're the customer? Somebody's watching. Somebody's watching. That YouTube personality is watching. Somebody always got their phone on, people, ready to record, ready to hit that audio recording. I think about Kirk Franklin. Many of you know who he is, and many of you don't. Kirk Franklin is a gospel superstar. He's been around for over 20 years, bringing us some beautiful music, gospel music, and might I add, probably rap too. I don't know. But anyway, not too long ago, I think over the summer, he had a heated, can I call it conversation? He had a heated verbal altercation with his adult 30-something-year-old son over the phone. Needless to say, his own child was secretly audio recording him. And this adult son in his 30s released it online. Private communication between him and his father. And Kirk Franklin was heard. Boy, let me tell you, he let his son have it. Boy, he let him have it with every single noun you could think of. I mean, he called him everything except the child of God. I'm laughing. It's not funny, but I'm laughing because, number one, it's sad. His adult son should not have done that. Because, truth be told, don't we all have a different persona when we're at home versus how we present ourselves at work, at church, or out in the community or on social media? We're more comfortable at home, and we got a right to be. We got a right to joke around. We got a right to fall and make mistakes. We got a right to grow, people. There are certain things we may take to the grave, but we're on our knees. Lord, heal me, make me better. Now, the way we present ourselves at home shouldn't be too much different from how we are in other areas of our lives, but there is a difference. There should be a place where we can fall. And home should be a place where we're able to work out our issues, whether it be anger, using profanity. I don't care what it is. Home should be the place where we strive. We're actively striving to overcome and conquer and be better. Kirk Franklin's son should not have done that. Perhaps he thought he was going to get sympathy. Perhaps he thought he was going to expose his dad for being something he wasn't. We all got things that we are actively working out, right? We shouldn't be judged for that. But yet and still, he was wrong. He was wrong because there comes a point in time when we have to stop praying and start doing. We have to do better, not just in how we interact with people outside of our family, but with people in our family. There comes a time, we proclaim, greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world, right? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But there comes a time when we truly just have to, we gotta change, and we have to make a change. And I know with what happened to Kirk Franklin before the world, you can best believe this is going to change him for the better. However, his son should not have done that. But see, people, I think like that. I'm like, Lord, you deal with me at home before I'm dealt with in the public. Because the public got no mercy. The public is judgmental. The public condemns. People can be counseled, this whole counsel culture thing for making a mistake. But I live by this principle. You never know who's recording, even inside your own home. But above all, people, God is always recording. God is always watching. God is always listening. Let me go back to some more scriptures. Colossians 4:6. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. You don't have a right to be rude to people. Be constructive. Say it in the right way and it'll be received. Let your speech be gracious. There's a time when you have to be assertive, like I needed to be with my daughter. and I cleaned it up later because I had been gracious all these months, right? But once again, there's a lot of times when it's not as serious. And just because we have the upper hand, because we pay for a service, don't give us the right to berate people and talk to people any kind of way and make them feel horrible. I wonder how many people in customer service went home depressed, or they're into counseling because of the way people talk to them. And Christian people, this Christian evangelist my husband dealt with, she's my mental picture. She's a reminder for me to do what the scripture states. Let your speech always be gracious, and not just verbal speech, but once again, we hide behind usernames and screen names. People, God is watching that. He knows what you're typing. We're going to give an account for every word we spoke, everything that we speak non-verbally as well. We're going to give an account for that, because that can ruin people. That can hurt people. Be mindful when you leave a comment, when you leave a review. Proverbs 15:1, one of my favorite scriptures. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Let's deliver, let's strive, let's endeavor to deliver soft words to quell a situation, and not add harsh words that's like adding wood to the fire. It's keeping it going. But Psalms 19:14, love this scripture. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Let the words of my mouth, let what I say, and if I don't say it with my mouth, it's going to come out in what I write. So let the words of the pen, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. All that we say and do we should strive for it to be acceptable in the sight of the Lord. For after all, He's the one that's watching. He's the ultimate one that's recording. And then there's a scripture, seek peace and pursue it. I love it, people. We ought to be chasing peace down. Like you running from the popo, you ought to be running after peace. I want to leave you all with a couple thoughts. Once again, what's done in darkness will be exposed in the light. Anybody can find out who you are. I mean, if major corporations, if these hackers can hack and steal information, it's not difficult to find out who we little people are, right? If these large corporations' systems can be compromised. And also keep in mind, if you're the kind of person that likes to leave unconstructive reviews and comments, especially like on eBay and Amazon and Etsy, people, is it really worth it? Do you really want to end up on Dateline? Do you really want to end up as a Lifetime movie? My mind takes me there. If I leave a bad review, they got my address. They got my address, people. I don't need to have that on my consciousness. I left a bad review. They know where I live. They ain't got nothing better to do. Could be a psychopath anyway. There are crazy. Crazy is in the world. Crazy is everywhere. And you leave a bad review and that eBay seller or Etsy seller got your address. It ain't got nothing better to do but to get you. Now, I know that's drastic, but I guarantee you it's bound to happen. It's bound to end up on Dateline and become, unfortunately, a Lifetime movie. One of my life's principle, once again, is what if somebody is recording? What if somebody is watching? And that is outside of God, because I know God watches. And that's enough for me to want to be right. That's enough for me to want to do right and treat people right, because I know my God is watching me. I know my God is listening to me. Yet outside of that, I don't want to end up with a public lesson from y'all and I'm counseled because I got caught on a bad day, or I got caught having a bad attitude. This last thought I want to leave with you all. I'm going to move my gingerbread, my lovely gingerbread plate aside and just lay these out. These are so cute. I love them. And you guys, working with the ribbon, you see how easy it is. You just have to fussy cut. That's pretty much it. And you know what? I've yet to work with this guy. I made one of these several years ago. Let's see here. The last thought I want to leave with you all is this. God has a customer service team of angels. And people, they are keeping watch on how we Christians and how we people in general, how we are treating other people. And these angels, let me tell you, they're on YouTube. They're on Instagram, Facebook. They're following. They're unfollowing. They're liking. They're disliking. They're even tweeting. Right? We don't see it, but we can best believe they are reporting back to God on how we interact with others. The question is, what type of review are they leaving about you? What are they reporting back to God? Because after all, He is the one that is watching. He is the one that is listening. And He will be the one who will judge. With that being said, if you like this video, why not like it? Give me a big thumbs up. Why not subscribe? Why not hit that notification bell? Why not share this video? Why not leave a comment? All right, you all, I want to thank you all for watching. As always, blessings.